Okay, we are back. We're going to be painting a glass electric tiki torch. I had this idea in my head for a minute of doing tentacles reaching out from the depths out to the ship. So that's what we want with. Um, I want to do actual tiki torch. I did one lantern thing, oil lamp thing. I'm going to try to do more of those, and then some actual real fire tiki torches. With these, I found these cool bulbs. I like the cork string light ones, but then they have like flickering flame on top. But yeah, there we go. All right, so I started out, and I've got my clear bottle. I cleaned it. Now I'm just kind of free-handing in, like the tentacle shapes. They're just roughly like SE type swirls. It can get a little bit complicated to pay attention to, but if you do this, you can add as many or as few as you want. You don't have to do quite like I did, where they're all crazy and tangly either. Just me wanting to punish myself, I guess. Ha ha ha. But no, pretty easy. You just have to think of a curved line and then draw one a little bit more behind it, where it starts the same tip and then slowly gets wider or farther away as it goes, but matches curve. And then I go in and I'm going to add the suckers or suction cups or whatever you want to call them. And they're just kind of ovals. I will say I did try to imagine these as 3D shapes and not just flat. But there we go. We're going to put those in. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, once I got all the suckers in, I decided originally I thought about just doing it with paint. But you can see along the edge of some of kind of hard since glass is clear. I need more plain background. But either way, I did a line to run up, more delineate the top of tentacle from the bottom suckery part. Just a little line, kind of points maybe following rough curves of the sucker, and sometimes not. It really just depends on what you think works best. Okay, that's it for a minute. We'll be back again. All right, painting time, everybody's favorite part. Once again, going through, I tried to not to totally bury all my lines, but of course it always ends up happening. The thing I'm working on is getting better control of both line and the gallery glass paint. Ooh, that's got to be good. Yeah, I'm going through it. I'm going to start with on all the tentacle parts. I'm going to go through and put in the bright white, because it's the more opaque of the ones I've found and seen. So that'll give us good base. We lay on our colors here in a minute. But yeah, just going through and going around. Just take your time. I will say probably a good idea to start it kind of like I'm doing at least here. Start at top and rotate and slowly work your way down. I think my brain makes me a couple of times follow the actual tentacle more down than just, kind of turning it and going around and down, that way. But if you do it the way I'm doing it, it's very easy to mess up and you get your fingers or hand in it, or it'll touch the table. You have to go back and redo it. This was killing my day. I need to also figure out a little stand thing or something to hold the bottle, at these angles when I move. We'll figure that out in the future soon, hopefully. Yeah, just go through, take your time, feel it all up, And you don't have to do the white if you don't. It probably would look pretty cool without it. I wanted that once again, that more diffused look with the tentacles. Also, when the lights get in it, parts of them are darker than others. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. You keep watching. Okay, just stepping back in for a minute. Just talk about. I don't know. It gets to me, and I feel like I have to do all of these at one time. You could probably be smarter than me. And do a little bit, say one side, and then stop and let it dry. Or a little bit, like an hour or two, and then come back and do the next side. It'd probably be easier. You end up with better results. I have to try to remember to do this myself. But I just wanted to come back and tell you about it. And since I'm here, apparently we're going to... Oh no, Well, just going through now and fixing some spots I made, cutting out some overflow and everything else. Sorry. Cheating was not the best idea to eat before recording. Things got all rumbling. But yeah, just going back through and fixing some spots where I think it's a little bit not quite filled in, or I saw a gap, or maybe it's a bit thin. And then we'll carefully go over. Maybe you probably reach a point. I've gotten there where I don't necessarily have to wait for it all the time. Let the paint to dry before I ink, or it's called it, before I redo the lettering. Although be careful doing it. Sometimes it gets it all a bit thick, or you might accidentally touch the wet paint if you're not careful. Smear it there, but that makes it bad too. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I didn't realize how much I overfilled and spilled over some parts of it. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm mixing up some color. Like I did here with this is a violet purple, which I do like. Originally I thought about doing the purple and then the violet, but they're both about equally as dark. Like the tone on them is both pretty deep. So what I decided to do instead is I do the violet purple, then I mix, it and some, I think, some red and a little bit of some white, like lighter colors. Since I'd already bought up the squeeze bottles, which I've done before. I think I did when I did the side. But you can do whatever colors and combinations you want. It's just, for me, this is what's good. Yeah, just go ahead and take your time, fill it up, I think at least I'm smart enough for the most part to wait in between these colors, so let it dry a bit. But yeah, okay. Just feeling, here we're going to see me mixing up, shake, shake, shake. Now I'm going to come in, this is the lighter, more of a pink. I did a good bit of white to it, and then the next one I had more white. This I'm just going to go through and fill in, around the tint, around the the bottom arm. I don't know what's inside the arm. I don't know. The bit where the tentacle and has the suckers. Underside, maybe that's what. But yeah. I just made like a lighter, more pinkish of this purple or violet. I may have it backwards. I really need to pay more attention. Anyway, just gonna feel that. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now I'm going in with, like I said, the lighter. If the tip was finer, if I used one finer, I maybe could have just totally buried the blended metal of Tentacle. I end up going back over it again. Keep telling myself, oh no, it just adds more depth and texture. So there we go, just filling these in. If you're ever curious, or anyway, like color combinations, or how they call it, color theory, the color wheel, all that. Oh yeah, here I'm gonna go in, and I'm going in with black, and I do like a hidden gradient. Like it starts out black at the bottom, and then goes up to lighter blues. Like it's coming from the deep dark ocean. But yeah, if you're that's a little bit I didn't want there, so I wiped out. Anyway, if you're ever curious, like how color theory, it all seems so hard. How to do it. A good way to do it, like especially if you're doing like sort of real animals or real things like that, is just look up a picture. Like I just looked up pictures of tentacles and octopuses. or squid or whatever. That can really help. You just follow their pattern. That's almost always make it look more real and natural, as much as this sort of medium does. Yeah, here you go. You can see what I'm adding in now, the lighter. I also wanted these darker colors to kind of pull up the edges of the tentacle, so I think that came out really well too. Yep, just doing this. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. You enjoy watching. Okay, so right now going back over all the suckers that I messed up, overfilled and whatever, being sloppy. But one thing I really want to point out right now is the whole thing's dry, like almost, except for a little bit of glue on top of it. Yeah, it's gotten pretty dry, so I can just, or even completely almost. But I can just grab it a little bit easier by the back and places if I'm working on the other side. So another reason to take your time and do it in steps is just you can handle it, just grab it, take your time, hold it. Go the other side, not worry about messing everything up all over your giant neat hands. Okay, that's just what I want to talk about this time. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. You keep watching. Okay, now that I got all the leading and I think most of the paint figured out, I'm gonna go back to, now I'm using like the purple on like the back ends and stuff to create kind of more of a shadow. Originally I thought about doing, I think I did a few parts, but using the liquid leading, the like hatch marks, like little lines to show, but then I had this looks a little bit better with this. Maybe in future I try to do something, that's like black and white, gets better using leading to make it really cartoony or hand-drawn, like cross-hatching and stuff. But yeah, just go to, also made up, I think, a little bit lighter of the pink, like the sucker color went back over. But oh yeah, this is fun. On top of this bit, I put in little ocean chips. Then I keep messing around, I keep sweating it, so I end up having nothing here but those. Yeah, just a little bit of extra detail on the top. It ends up looking really cool. Yeah, here I am, a little bit like going, filling in with some of it. And I think this is like the full strength, so it's giving a little bit of shadow where I feel it. It all comes out looking, not just to add like the roundness and texture, but also helps break up some of the bigger parts where even with the, I've got the candle and the light in it now, so I can help see that. It's always a good idea when doing this, see as much light as you can get around or going to it, and you can really see what your holes are. And I'm redrawing this chip again, and I'm going to pull out some, this is our root beer brown. I've got some white for the sails. I think I had a little bit of white in the top blue for the water to add waves. So yeah, all comes out real good. I really enjoyed it. I'm very, very happy with the way this one. Yeah, see, it's kind of little rough, wavy lines. You have, so like it's actually on top of the water. Gives a nice stylized texture and stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it. So now we just stuff the mold in. See how it goes. Okay, see you next time we do this, but more of the same but different. Goodbye.